right, to keep up with keeping your lives tight, tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need, to be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hearer of all whom pleads? Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown, to worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne?
I'm your host, Minister Idris Taha, and with me as always, I would have a pleasure, Brother Fakir Abdul-Aziz, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, and Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Saleem. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be with and about everybody's presence.
Peace and other blessings be with about your presence as well.
And I want to send a shout out to the audience out there. May Ahezaah's peace and about your presence as well, all you I-H-A.D believers. I can never thank the Lord enough to sit around these good people here, feeling the Lord's spirit, as we discuss many topics and the views of the day. So with that being said, brothers, sister, Holy Apostle, whoever want to chime in, bringing something good about Ahezaah's words.
Well, let me, can I say something first?
Yeah.
I want to congratulate my daughter, one of my daughters.
Okay.
She went to a prom with my son. I don't believe in that prom stuff and that dating game,
Right.
And how some of the children think that going to the prom has put a stamp on their adulthood and what have you. So, my daughter, she was very agreeable that if she goes, she take her brother, and then my son-in-law was a big chaperone there, chauffeur, and everything. And she won the princess of the prom thing, She and I, we designed a dress. She's going into fashions.
Okay.
We had a young lady, Sister Weenie, I don't know her real name, but she's a seamstress. And she put together something that, we designed, and she put very beautiful. So she won. So Weenie, I know you're out there watching. Thank you. And I did the rest, with my son, with his, things that you couldn't do. So we together brought her that little crown, and she's happy about it. She immediately gave it to me. She said she don't want to get stuck in with things now. She want to go on. She want her mind to be into, what she's gonna do for the future.
Right.
And she made a very, very interesting statement, and it, it gave me something to think about, and I felt pretty proud about it. She said, I feel sorry for some of the graduates, some, people that went to prom. She said, many of them have been drawing their prom dresses out since their freshman year. And all they've been thinking about is the prom. And she said that she don't know what they're gonna do, because after graduation, they have no plans for the future. She can't see them doing anything else. They've reached the prom, and that's all they thought about, how good they was gonna look in the prom. And I said, wow, babe, I mean, this is coming out of an 18-year-old's mouth, and she, and she's like, I know that, our future is very important. You have to build a foundation for our future. And my plans is to incorporate with some of the things that you've been doing, and that's why we talked for the last 2 years about us working together as a team to go ahead and do the fashions. Because, I've been doing this thing for a long time, but I had stopped for some years. And she wanted me to come back into it. So they gave me a surprise sewing machine, and embroidering machine, and they like trying to force me back into this thing, Her and Holy Queen Mother trying to get me out there. So I want to keep my word, but I just want to congratulate her. I want to congratulate all the students at A.H.A.D who made it to the prom, and those who graduated, especially those who have thoughts about the future and going on to greater things in your life, because, education is not just public school or private school. Education is life, and you should take that thing as the true education that the Lord spoke about, and don't get caught up thinking that the Lord, when it says said through its messengers, its prophets, to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, or seek knowledge from here, wherever you be, unto China, and seek knowledge wherever you may find it. Don't think that the Lord was talking about your 3 R's, in public school, or the school that the political system put you in. That knowledge is the knowledge of life, the knowledge of mind and spirit and soul, so that you could come into the greater height of awareness, like what I think my daughter has actually stepped into. So I just want to congratulate you all, and congratulate Cora and the young lady who won Queen. She won Princess, and for the most fashionable, but I personally, she was my queen. I think that she was, and especially being that she put it together herself, and this other thing was store-bought. I just had to put that out there. There might be a little prejudice involved, but she went and got a professional, piece of material where this young lady put hers together on paper and everything, and said, "This is what I want," and I just had a few little comments, and there she was, so that's good,
It makes me feel good that, to see that my daughter is looking deeper into life, and that she's spreading that information that she's been given to the other people. A lot of people say, "Well, I know you're proud of her," and she has. A lot of people don't understand. There takes exceptional students, exceptional people that will take and buckle down seriously. I mean, my daughter gave up a lot to become one of the top 10 students in her school. I mean, hard work, and I have a lot of children, but hard working young lady, but one thing I advise parents, one of the things that me and my husband has always practiced is letting them know that you're not doing it for us. You're doing it for the betterment of yourself. And this is what you're going to receive as your reward for your sacrifice. They don't have nothing to do with, oh, you get an A, I give you $5, and your accomplishments is your accomplishments. And truly, if the Lord didn't give you those things to accomplish and made a way for you to accomplish those things by giving you its spirit to overcome the trials and obstacles, and basically the reality is that the Lord do it for you from your asking from within, and that all the praises and all the glory is always due to the Lord Most High. And I just pray that she remembers that, and don't become like the fools that think that they have earned something. The Lord has given you that as a gift, and it's for you to return that goodly loan back to the Lord. And a lot of people don't understand what that goodly loan is. They think that goodly loan is paying that church tithe. That's not the goodly loan. That's only a small aspect, of the good. The Lord don't need your money. You ain't paying no tithes to the Lord in that way. You understand? We got to get past the nickels and dimes and the cents. A lot of people don't understand that a goodly loan may be that you open your mouth to speak truth to someone who needs to hear it, there's someone who may gain from that truth. You understand? So it's so much in that goodly loan, so I just pray that young people will realize that they owe all to the Lord Most High, and to pay back that goodly loan, so that other people will be able to rise and pay back that goodly loan as well in a good manner.
Well, before we turn the show back over to the host.
No, it's all part of the show.
Well, we know what the real deal is, but we gotta perform, right?
Absolutely.
Since we're speaking about the goodly loan, I just want to point out that what I've said many times, to my associates, my partners, or whatever, whatever they consider themselves to be to me, and whatever I consider myself to be to them, because we like family. The goodly loan that the Lord asks for is that loan that He gave to you, or it gave to you, excuse me, for that He stuff that it gave to you for your life.
Yes.
See, Ahezaah loaned you life.
Yes.
It loaned you the essence of earth for a body, and it loaned you the essence of mind for your mentality.
Right.
And it loans you everything about your being for a time period. And it says when it calls you for a loan, it wasn't saying for a loan, it says for the loan. I'm calling you for the goodly loan. You know, and people have misconstrued the words of the Lord Most High in their translations and transmissions of the Holy Word. That's why the Lord Most High continuously send messengers to straighten these things out. And then you have, you know, like worlds of people of the book that came before the messengers. It's always like that. Just like it is with the Muslims today, it was like that with the people of John and the people of Moses and all the other people. And you notice I didn't say the people of Jesus. Jesus only had a couple.
That's it.
And they didn't, some of them didn't stand firm in Jerusalem, but people want to attribute Christianity to Jesus, and Jesus knew nothing about it.
Exactly.
You know, but the thing about it is that, you know, our people come and they will, you know, people will come and say things like there's no more words to come from the Lord Most High, and no more messengers, no more prophets. Like, you know, this prophet was enough forever. And they've already destroyed the words that the prophet has sent down in the translations. And they say, well, the books is protected, but they don't give you to teach everybody the language of the prophet itself. And so you can't read that language and you don't know how true all these things is. But when the Lord sends the messengers or give people insight into what the truth is, then those very same people turn around and kill those people for bringing forth the truth. So they are servants of the devil, you know, of Satan, you know, running around here in the cloths of the holy, so-called, you know. And I just want to add that to say that goodly loan is the loan of yours that the Lord gave to you to give back to it. And as far as practicing paying your child for getting A's and B's, I never practiced that. I never practiced that. And I never looked for that from my parents. You know? And I recall my mother giving some of my sisters and brothers money for their A's and B's. And I was a straight A student until I got up into the 7th grade, and then they let me free in junior high school. And all the elements that was around, the evil elements, you know, grabbed me. And so I was no longer a good student in public schools. But I had started studying public life. You know, and it's unfortunate. Well, it was fortunate that I had been given a good upbringing, because I studied public life and private life on a good side before I got to that point that when I started studying on my own, that evil world, I had a foundation to stand on. So when I got into the street world, you know, I had that foundation, but I was crazy as Jaybird, because the fact of the matter is that I had all this particular energy in me, and this awareness, you know, that I had put to sleep, so to speak, you know. But I always, my wife and I, you know, always, you know, put forth the information about, you know, when you do something, you do it for yourself. Don't look for $5 from me, because I'm gonna tell you something. People do those types of things like they do a lot of other things, and they trick their children into getting good grades. And then their children think that they're supposed to be rewarded for everything they do. And they grow up, and many times they look for material rewards instead of spiritual and divine rewards. You understand? Then they think they're owed those things. You understand? And that's one of the reasons so many children go out, they grow up, and they never turn back to help the elderly of their family or anybody else, because they, in their minds, hey, what is you doing to earn my help? You understand? So, you know, you got to look at all the mixed messages you give a child when you pay them for getting good grades, and don't give them the proper information about why they should get good grades, and point to them to their future. And even if they're failing in the grades, man, if you give them the proper education, they can pass in life. And I know this because, as they say in the streets, been there, done that. Do they say that in the streets still?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm far removed from it. Been there, done that, because I was one who had been there and done that, become very successful without high school and what have you. So if your child can't make it in school, don't castigate them. Don't think that they're just useless to the earth, because see, it's man that makes politics and political education, public education. They the ones, the servants of Satan, make that higher than the true education. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart when I say the servant of Satan. You might look at them as your savior, your political leaders and chiefs and what have you. But I look at them as enemies of the Lord Most High, because they are the leaders of the world that has gone to ruin and is falling down. And they still got you playing in this political game of voting and choosing new leaders, and so that they could keep this particular institution going, you know. And like I was saying to someone, I think I said on one of the other shows, about I went to school and to you know, the different visited children in school, and they still singing the same songs, got the same programs that they had even before me. My children coming home singing songs that my mother and them was singing, my parents were singing in school. And I'm like, Daddy, you know that? They like, Daddy, you know that song? Yeah, I know that song. Why do I know that song? Because that song and many other songs worked. It kept us as slaves in our mentality. That program has worked, and none of our people has fought those programs. You know, and that's why they could go so far as taking out one of the most important aspects of schooling. One of the most important aspects of schooling, they could take it out without getting a fight, and that is athletics. And people would say, well, how is that so important? Your body is your temple. And if you don't take care of your temple, then everything inside of it is going to be crushed when it falls. And look how many couch potatoes, overweight, adolescents, diabetes, what they call that, juvenile diabetes that the children have. Look how these children are 10 years old looking like they 29 years old, women, breasts, and everything is out of order. It's very important to deal with the physical as it is with the mental and the spiritual. And they've let the people take that away. And then the other thing is them trying to get the parents so involved in what's going on in the schools. They moved all the way up to the White House now. Because see, it started at the White House, but they let it trickle down, and now they're going to make like it's something that they've discovered. Okay, we need the parents to get involved in school. Wait a minute. Back in the day, my parents didn't have to get involved in school. The teachers were well trained and they knew how to train the students. So why do the parents got to get involved with teaching the children in school? Why the teachers can't be trusted and watched over by the parents? Why do we have to make appointments to come into schools, or we can't come into schools now all of a sudden? Aren't they working for us? You understand? Why is it that they would take, you think about this here. They said we don't have a dictatorship. And we're not living under a Lenin law or anything like that there. But you have a child, and your child belongs to the state unless you file for child custody. How is that when by the Lord Most High, who they disrespect, gave you that child as a responsibility to you? How is it that it is owned by the state unless you contest it?
So they call them wards.
You understand? And why is it that, being that it's that way, they don't make this public knowledge on a consistent basis? Go and file for custody for your children as soon as you have them. Why they don't put that in the hospital? They got you signing all these papers, birth certificates for your children. Why they don't have that at the hospital bed for when your child is born? Sign up for custody for your child. You understand? People got the wrong education. People let them take them over. Like my wife said, my daughter worked very hard, too hard. She worked very hard to be one of the top students, and you will never, I don't care if she was number one in school, you will never see me riding down with a bumper sticker plugged on my
Number
car
one
talking
student.
about I got such and such student in such and such school. You know, if she ain't in the school of the divine, school of life, then it ain't even worth talking about.
Right.
You know?
That's it.
And that's the thing that where our responsibilities come in. See, by them telling us we got to be involved in that, it's taking away our ability to teach our children ourselves what we need to teach them ourselves from the Lord Most High when they are home.
Yeah. That's one of the tricks of the devil that it uses now, keeping this society such a fast pace. You ain't got time for yourself to actually think for a moment. By the time your child get done with all that homework, they done worn out.
You worn out.
And
you
then-
gotta go to bed. You gotta get up and go to work. You ain't got time to think about nothing. Pay attention to nothing. And where your mindset come on the TV. That's where you
American
gotta get
Idol, craziness.
information. And it kills me to see anyone in my family looking at all these
American Idol,
all these shows, these things that my mother used to look at, these soap operas and all the stuff that they got, and they just feed your mind. I said to my daughter, one of my children once, I said, do you realize that if you're not, completely aware that you at a war with Satan, that all the things you look at on television is going into your being and it has to come out somewhere? You can't just drink something and expect it not to be in there. You drinking information, you eating information when you take that information from the television screens. I don't care how much you laugh about it, how foolish it is, and it will work on you. It has to work on you unless you are aware and be able to stop it at the door. How many people are really aware when they sit up and turn on a television set and laugh about things? Because I remember before, in my early ages, I used to look at TV, and I'd be laughing until they start making jokes about church or the temples or the Jews or the Christians or the Muslims, anything that had to do with religion. And I said, whoa. Because I'm a firm believer, I don't care what path you on. If you supposed to be representing the Lord Most High, I'm not going to mess with you on that, unless I find you wrong. You understand? I respect all the so-called paths of religion, which I know is only one true path. And you can find that path in each man and each way of the religion. If you're right. You understand? And then that falls into that law about why it is that a man can marry somebody of another faith. A Muslim can marry somebody of another faith if they are believers. People say the Quran is so contradicting. If you look into what's being said, you'll understand how there's no contradiction in that. But people don't see that. Even the Muslims, a lot of the Muslims themselves didn't see that. Because for their lust for women, they just go out and just marry anybody and say, well, you believe in what? I'm a Christian. Well, she's a believer. Believe in what?
It's funny that you said that. I got two things I wanted to say. One thing was, you wonder about the education that the teachers received and they come back and teach in the school system, because you know how, if a person keeps speaking in Arabic, they really forget the English meaning of what they're talking about. Or sometimes the full meaning. And I thought about it, just was a joke in my head. Well, true joke, but it was a joke. But this thing, them every year for Black History Month, they sing, "We shall overcome." Now, we got all these educated teachers that lead the children to singing this for the school program. But if they take out shall and put what shall mean, we should overcome. They'll have a different feeling about that song.
We should overcome.
We should. And damn it,
we should, but we ain't.
Right.
We haven't. We don't know how to. We can't accept the way to overcome. We scared of the big boss. We scared of the, you know what I'm saying? We scared of the politicians. We moving up. We are overcome. We got a black man going for presidency today. We are overcome. Oh yeah.
See that shall really in their mind mean we're overcoming. We're overcoming. But that's not it. We should.
Right.
And have you noticed that it's always the African Americans singing that song, and you never had the general population of the Caucasians singing that song, and they believe they got things to overcome too. They believe that they need to overcome all the powers in the world on earth, but they never sing that song, "We Shall Overcome."
It should be, "We will overcome."
You feel what I'm saying?
If you're trying to go forward, but if you're trying to stay in the same boat you've been in, keep singing that shall.
I could even respect, "We need to overcome." We need badly to overcome.
Right.
You know, we need to get on the run and stop running in the wrong direction.
Yeah, "we shall overcome" almost sound like it's a permission. Or ask, can we have your permission to seek to overcome?
Let me debate you on that. It's not that it is asking for permission. It don't even sound like that. But because we've asked for permission so long, we begin to think it's asking for permission.
Yeah.
Because this very man that marched us to Washington had to get a permit from the powers that be in Washington. They gave him the roads to walk up, the time periods to be there, and a whole bunch of, they made a whole bunch of other things they put into effect for them to be able to make that march. Now, here you go trying to overcome the man that's telling you you can only do this. And you can only do that, and at this particular time, you must disperse. You must get out of here. Now go ahead and sing your songs, children.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, boy and girl, go sing your songs, boy and girl. And then here they go still picking out leaders, and the same leaders. If, you know, if I was to get out there talking like that, they might give me a phone call. You man, you done changed. Okay, we want to put you on Oprah.
Yeah.
You know, and I go, "Boss, we's gonna be on Oprah, boss." Okay, I says what we's want you to say. You know, what y'all want me to say, I says for the people. What is it that we want to do? So we want to tell them that we with who now? And we's overcoming what way? You know, we are sad people, man.
Yes.
Okay, that was one of my jokes.
I'll pull it out your brain,
The other thing, which is not a joke, is that I experienced something this week where the two individuals used to be Muslim. And they told me that. And then today, for some odd reason, I went back to them and I said, so y'all used to be Muslim. One is from another country. And his father was Muslim, mother was Christian, and he was born in Islam, raised in Islam, but now he's Christian. And the other individual, basically the same thing. So I don't know. You know, sometimes you just can't help yourself. I be saying I'm a mama business, I ain't got nothing to say. I said, "Well, can I ask y'all a question?" They said, "Sure, what?" I said, "So now you believe Jesus is God?" And they looked at me, and I said, "You never asked yourself that when you said now you Christian?"
Yeah.
I said, "So you went from believing that Allah is one, and that everything in creation submits to this one, that there's only one, to believing that the man that was put on the cross by another man is God?" And they looked at me and they couldn't say anything. I got to ask them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did they have a response?
24 hours to think
about it. Yeah.
I got to ask them tomorrow because honestly, neither one of them could say anything. One of them tried. She said, "Well, I'm not Christian. I'm basically 5%.
5%.
5%.
Now they think,
And I said,
Where did that come?
I said, "But do you believe Jesus is God?" And she just was like, and I had to go back and finish doing what I was doing. So I said I had to follow up with them tomorrow because I'm just curious. You know, I just want to know how you go from believing that Allah is the supreme Lord over all things.
In defense of them.
No way. I just want them TV land people to think about this too. How you could go from thinking that Allah is Lord, one Lord over all things, and everything in creation surrenders to that, to believing that a Caucasian man that was put on the cross
was supposed to have nappy hair like a wool sheep.
That's right. Feet like grass.
Feet like grass, which is black or brown or whatever.
We know that the cross, they show us he got the long stringy hair.
Yeah, like a monkey.
Yeah, so
like a orangutan.
Yeah.
They're believing that this Lord here is this man over here. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I just want to know how they get to that mindset. Like, I'm curious.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?